Hello, everyone. Everyone here watching, everyone who's watching this back. Hello, I'm Zoe. I'm here with Neva from Neva's Cozy Corner. We are telling the people that we are sisters because we have the same glasses and we look alike. We're not, but why not tell everyone we're sisters? I am slightly caffeinated right now, so we're just gonna go with it. We are gonna be talking about Best Friends for Never, the Clique book number two. Number two. Arguably one of the better ones. That might be controversial to say. I don't know. Neva, your thoughts?
I mean, this one I also gave four. I think I gave the first one 4 stars. Hold on, let me check my page count. Let me not lie to y'all about my rating. I'm pretty sure I know I gave the second one 4 stars. Let me just wait.
Hello, welcome to the madness. Oh
Okay,
no, my headphones connected
so
to the.
I gave the first one and the second. I gave both of them 4 stars.
Okay.
Um,
Respectable.
their ratings on Pagebound are lower than that. They're like 3 point blah 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 stars, but also
Mhm.
like a bunch of adults reading this probably.
Yes.
Also,
I'm gonna try and
Storybook
connect my headphones.
was weighted. They do like weighted ratings. You
Yes.
can rate over like enjoyment, quality, characters, plot, and then you do an overall rating. I only focus on the overall rating. I'm not trying to break my books down that much.
Yes.
Personally.
That's fair.
So, as an overall rating, I gave them both 4 stars. This one, I feel like had a bit more character development than the first one,
Mm-hmm.
but like they're still awful people.
Oh yes.
And I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
even want to say
12-year-old girls acting like 30-year-old women.
right, they're children, right? So like I don't want to say that they're awful people because I think that like they could grow into okay adults, but
Yes.
it's the same themes in this one of like we're supposed to believe that Massey's family, like her parents, are permissive parents, right? They just like they scold her, but then like as soon as they scold her, they're and she like bites back, they're like, oh, never mind, right? But Claire's parents are still viewed as like the good parents, but I still feel like her parents are completely oblivious to what's actually happening. Like if they knew what was happening and they acted this way, it would irritate me. So I do feel like we see more development in like the girls' characters themselves, but I feel like that's just because we're moving further into the series, not because
Hmm.
they're actually developing good personalities.
Yes. No, like the parents are very much side characters, very like one dimensional, even like half dimensional. They're just there for the most part. Um it's like you see them trying to be parents once every 5 chapters, but that's it. That's it. Hello. Um I have a child screaming upstairs, apparently about TV. So we're gonna just let them watch TV right now. It's Sunday night and Kurt's at work for another hour. So, oh, also I cannot go too long today because Kurt's coming home and we have not had a weekend yet because he worked yesterday and he worked today.
That's okay. We have to take the kids over to the sister-in-law's house at some point
Mm.
too. So
All right, so we will stick to the book this time. I have never once stuck to something in my entire 32 years. There's a first time for everything. I believe in us. We can do it. We can do it. So the second one follows the girls in October and early November. as they're planning a Halloween party, the first boy-girl Halloween party that they've ever had. Like, this is big shit because they're 12. We are going to keep in mind that these girls are 12 through everything. And then we get into a discussion about uniforms and the school going into a uniform type school because the girls wear their skimpy, sexy Halloween costumes. School. I cannot.
Listen, this
risque.
This was such an issue for me because I remember being 12, and I'm going to tell you who I dressed up as, and it's probably problematic. It is problematic, but we didn't know it was problematic. I mean, I think the adults knew, but like kids dress up as their favorite characters all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So literally when I was 12 years old, that was the first year that I dressed up as Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, because that was a popular costume when I was 12. And I just can't imagine, like, I remember asking my mom at like 16 if I could wear like an adult I was in an adult size at Spirit Halloween at 16, and she was still like, yes, I will buy you this costume, but then she would like sew pieces onto it, or we would have to put leggings on underneath it.
Parenting.
Because Spirit, like adult costumes, for most costumes, obviously there are some one-offs where they're like, you know, if you're doing like a Renaissance style costume or something where it was just automatically like for the time period it was more modest or whatever, but even those have like a bodice on them that would push your boobs up.
Yep.
So like I can't imagine like my mom taking me to Spirit Halloween at 12 and being like, go pick whatever costume you want. And that's what it seems like happens in this book.
The worst part is that the housekeeper, the live-in housekeeper, made the costumes themselves, like herself, made the costumes for these girls. And Isaac, the driver that we saw in the first one, who's the only one who ever tries to parent Massey Block, he saw these costumes on the way, them going to school, and was like, yeah, gee, that's cool. All good. Ripped and micro minis, and maybe I'm gonna add fishnets for a bad girl. Ask me, you're 12. Shut up. Sit down.
And here's the thing,
Go watch Barney.
I have a 9-year-old child. She dressed up last year as Red from Rise of Red.
I am not familiar.
So it's it's not the newest Descendants movie because they just had the Alice in Wonderland come out, but it's like the fourth Descendants movie, I think. And she went as Red, who is the daughter of...
Is there a way that I can do pink the year after this year?
Okay, I Googled. I gave it a Google.
But so she is the daughter of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Okay. So if no one knows what Descendants is, the TLDR of it is that it is the stories of the children of like our favorite Disney villains.
Yes, I'm familiar with
this one was she was like, I want to be Red from Rise of Red. So I was like, all right, cool. This was like a one-piece bodysuit, like a jumper outfit. Okay, now right now. Eat your food. Yes, that exact costume is what I bought at Walmart without the wig. Walmart didn't have any wigs. I ended up having to order the wig off of Amazon, but it was the exact same wig. So that is what she wore for Halloween.
Okay.
Which covers everything. And I can't imagine that in 3 years' time, I'm going to be like, wear whatever you want, as revealing as you want.
If you're trying to walk out of this house like a grown-ass woman.
Right.
Like, you're 12. Why are you wearing... And then they go to school, and all the other girls are like, oh my God, that's so cute. I'm assuming it sounds exactly like that because these kids and these are cutting their own shit.
But I can't imagine walking into a school and being able to do that either.
I can't believe Isaac was like yeah, and he let her go.
This, okay, I understand that like books and movies are not necessarily supposed to be realistic, but this book felt so unrealistic to me when it came to like what they were allowed to wear. Because in the first
Yes.
book, yes, we see them wearing like designer, we see them wearing like Gucci and Chanel and whatever. But it seemed that they were still covered up, right? They were still wearing like your I mean, sometimes they were, yes, wearing like mini skirts and stuff like that. And
But
you
not to
know,
this point.
their stiletto 3-inch heels. But they weren't like showcasing their body necessarily. Like it still seemed when
Mhm.
you were reading the first book, it still felt like they were wearing maybe in designer, but that they were still wearing like your quintessential like jeans and a t-shirt. But
Yeah.
it was like classier because it's like a like
Rich people shit.
pair of True Religion jeans or something. I don't
Yeah.
know designers. Anyway, so like that's you know what I'm saying. But this book with the Halloween costumes felt inherently like just no adult cared what
No.
they were doing. And so they were just rolling up into school in the skimpiest outfits possible, and no one was like, hey, bro.
Not until the nurse. When the nurse, I'm assuming she was just in her office in the first aid nurse's station. I don't know. Side note, did your school have a nurse like this? Is that an actual American thing? Schools
So
have
that,
nurses?
yeah, okay. So that is an actual American thing. So
We don't have that.
in every school I've ever been in, from elementary all the way to high school, right? You have college is different because, like, if you need to go see like a medical personnel like on campus in college, most of the time you're seeing like this, like whoever's in the sports center, right?
Hmm.
But but like in from like pre-K all the way up to 12th grade in America, every school has a school nurse. So she has her own little office. Now the
Right.
offices can vary. Most offices, even if they're really small, they will have an office. Like you go into the office, it'll have usually at least one bed, because like if you say that you are feeling ill, you need to lay down, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, the last high school that I went to, which is the one that's in this school district, they have 2 beds. Her office is fairly large. She has like a cabinet where all of the medication is. She has her desk. Like you walk in, and it is legitimately an office that you walk into.
I have
And
never seen that in a school, at least Southwestern Ontario.
yeah, so that is like a real thing. So that wasn't so strange to me that like as you know, someone who grew up in the American school system, that's probably the most like relatable thing that I've read in these books. Because that is very much how a school in America would work, is that you would have an on-site nurse that had her own office. And they would send you, like, say that you cut yourself, or you said you weren't feeling well, or like in the first book where it appeared that Claire had blood through her pants, they would tell you go to the nurse's office, and you would go to the nurse, and then she would do what she needed to do and either send you home or send you back to class. So that was kind of
Sorry. Excuse me.
you're fine. So that was kind of where that is very relatable. I mean, the nurse bringing in a rack of designer clothes for you.
The Lost and Found is last season shit. Wow.
Like our school had a Lost and Found, but it didn't have freaking clothes in it. Like our Lost and Found was like someone left their AirPods in classroom or something, or their wallet. Like if you bled through your clothes, like you were calling your mom.
Yeah, no, we had like sweaters, maybe like hoodies and whatnot. But I remember the first time I read this at 12 years old. I like the first one too, and just the nurse's office mentioned. I was like, "That's got to be made up," because I
mean,
never saw one. High school,
maybe
grade school, nothing.
At like an affluent, like a real like this, because this is supposed to be like an affluent private school, right? Like an upper class.
They've had CEOs and shit
But
come
like,
out of the school.
Maybe, but I don't know. Like, I don't know anyone necessarily that went to like the highest of high tier like private school. you know, but I also feel like it's probably a little bit unrealistic that you're
Oh,
gonna
I
have an
can
entire
imagine.
rack of like from Bergstrom or something.
Like, why you're rolling out the? Sorry, are the kids just leaving the clothes at school because hey, I don't need them anymore? Let me just toss them. I don't fucking understand that. But, anyways, the nurse was the only one who, at any point, was like any of the teachers who presumably saw these girls from the moment they got to school up until the point where she's like, they're doing what? And then she went to go tell the principal because I think she said something like, this is a school, not a runway. So no other teacher brought it up. No other teachers told them to cover up. No other teachers went to the principal. Like,
And I don't know what like the school you went to. Our school had a relatively strict dress code.
Oh yeah, I got in trouble. There was a whole thing because we weren't allowed to wear tank tops that were less than 3 fingers for the strap.
Yeah, they had to be at least
And
2 inches. Yeah,
we went through a phase in grade 8 where we would wear spaghetti straps with a sweater over top of it in summer, hot as fuck, humid as fuck.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the teachers were like, guys, no, you're not allowed to do that. We're like, hey, it's covered.
We actually did it the other way. We would put them over our t-shirts.
We did that too, but they were like, no, you like it was like what's the word? Like a rebellion thing almost. And it just caught on with our grade and everybody did it and then we all got in shit for it. Because if you're outside and you're hot, oh, I'm just going to take off my sweater and then I've got spaghetti straps. And then the teachers would tell you to cover up when you went inside because it was too hot outside. And then they're like, no, stop doing that.
Stop doing that. Yeah. Okay, so like I went to a predominantly white school.
Same.
Like my whole time growing up.
Can I
So
go to your school?
you are in the school district that I was in right now.
Yes, fingertip test. Absolutely. I went to a Catholic high school. It was bad.
Yeah. So I actually remember them having an issue with my hair being in box braids.
I never did
Like,
protective
my
styling
mom-
until I was an adult.
like,
I would have had the same
my-
issue though, guaranteed.
My mom had paid to get my hair put in box braids. She had hired somebody from the college to do it. We live around a couple of smaller colleges. Well, the town. No.
I'll be right back. I gotta go deal with the screaming child.
Okay. But we did have the fingertip test. That was my favorite. Not really. But yeah, we did have the fingertip test. And I remember it being a thing where we would pass the fingertip test and then roll our skirts or our shorts. I don't know if anyone else did that, but that was a thing at my school. Was we would roll them. So we would roll them to where they were supposed to be and then roll them back up so they were shorter. I don't know why they continued to let us get away with doing that, but they surely did. They surely did.
Hey, Mom.
We'll wait for Zoe to come back.
Like this kind of looks like a tuba. Kind of looks like a mini tuba.
Okay, so I remember there being an issue with box braids. My stepdad ended up having to like come to the school and like talk to them about how it was like ethnically I should be allowed to wear them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one other black girl that was in my school didn't wear her hair that way. She did like the scrunch thing where so it was curly, but she had far less kinky hair than I did. Like she definitely got her hair from her mom and not from her dad.
Yeah.
And mine was like a double whammy because my mom's hair was already so curly and big anyway. And then you also mix that with like my dad's hair. Yeah. So my hair wasn't like as thick as a lot of other mixed children or black children's hair would be. But there was just like a lot of it and it was very coarse and curly.
Yeah.
And I remember there being like a problem of like, well, that's not a natural hairstyle.
What
And
the
I'm
fuck
like,
is this guy sending me?
but yeah.
Sorry, my husband just he just texted me a picture. I convinced him to take off the first week of school. So he's sending me the picture of the dates to make sure that they're right because he's gotten them wrong before. Okay. Yeah, I never wore protective styling until I was like late 20s. I think was the first time. I definitely should have as a kid, but I feel like I probably would have had the same issue back in the day. We need to stay on track. We got time limits here.
Oh, also, we were talking about when you left to go deal with children. We were talking about how we did have I was talking about we had the fingertip test, but we would unroll. So, like, they had
Yes.
those like elastic waistbands on our shorts and skirts. So we'd
Yep.
roll them down to pass
Mhm.
the fingertip test, and then roll them at the waistband.
Our uniforms in high school, because I don't know about the rest of Canada, but in Ontario, Catholic schools are, for all intents and purposes, public schools. Like we didn't have to pay tuition for school, but we did have uniforms, and our uniforms were the biggest, baggiest, boxiest, stupid shit. So instead of elastic bands, they were like dress pants with like the little clasp thing. So we all found a way to rig it so when you flipped your pants over, you stuck an elastic around the little clasp thing, and then you used a paper clip and you went through and it held it up, and then we would ducktail our shirts and roll the things. And in the spring and the summer, where there was a skirt or shorts, my brother never let me wear a skirt to school because he's like, I know what the boys at this school are like. I was a boy at this school. You are not wearing a skirt or a skort, because the skorts were fucking ugly though. So the shorts and everything, we'd roll them. And we had a couple nuns at our school that were very strict on the dress code. And as soon as you saw one of them coming, you did a quick unroll and then a quick roll back up. But like,
Right.
the things we went through at a normal school, and then the things
Right.
these schools were doing.
But then this book was such like an unrealistic portrayal. And I honestly wonder if books like this were the reason that some of us did these things.
Oh,
Because it was
absolutely.
such an
100%.
unrealistic, like there's no way that you're walking in the skimpiest, like we were allowed to wear our costumes to school when I was in middle school,
but with rules.
but there were rules. Like you couldn't have anything that had weapons. You
No
couldn't
mask, no capes, no accessories.
Right. You couldn't do any, you could do makeup as long as it didn't involve blood or gore.
Yeah.
Um
Nothing obscene on the clothes, about the
right, nothing
costume.
crazy on the clothes.
Yeah.
We were allowed accessories to an extent. Like we could have certain things, but like capes or anything that hung off of us, we couldn't have.
Yeah. And I remember the older we got, the more freedom there was. Like high school, there was a lot more freedom than grade school.
But there were still rules.
Yes. But in grade 7, you would not be allowed to come in with ripped clothing.
Right.
With midriffs exposed, wearing micro minis and shit. None of this. I would have gotten the biggest backhand of my entire goddamn life.
These costumes in this book are like the equivalent of what I see like the college kids wearing.
Yes.
Like they're the equivalent of what a college student would wear to like a sorority or frat Halloween party.
Like the dirty devil costume.
This is not like a 12-year-old like appropriate costume.
No, the dirty devil costume is like, how close can we get to making it a sexy devil, a sexy nurse, whatever, for 12.
And that's really the only thing that they're doing is that they're just changing the verbiage they're using around what the costume is in this book. Right. And I'm like, but we know what it is. Like as an adult reading this book, I know what this is. Like you went to Spirit Halloween and you bought the sexy devil costume out of the adult section. That's what you did.
Let me see.
Although I'm sure that their costumes were like Gucci or
She said,
I'm just saying they're all.
where is? Yeah, okay, so Red pleaded for anybody watching who has not actually like read this part closely. This is what the costumes are. Red pleated micro minis, so not just minis, micro minis, ass cheek hanging out. Long arrow tip tails sewed onto the back. Above each one was so they had the shirts, the skirts, and underneath they had gray boy shorts with "Kiss It" written on fucking undies.
Okay, this means that their skirts were so short that you could see what was written on their butt cheek. That's what that means.
Which comes back into play. Where's the party? Where's the party? I finished rereading this again right now, like right before I started working on a video, because I was like, I need this fresh in my mind because I know this one gets fucked up. So they are at the party. Yeah, right here. 8:40 p.m. October 31st. We got some little pervy action going on here, right? The girls are standing at the big fire pits that are at Massey Block's Halloween party in her backyard. So they've got big bonfires and fire pits, and they've got pitchforks that they can use to roast marshmallows. First of all, this whole fucking party sounds fantastic. I want to recreate this
as an adult.
For me. Fuck them kids. So they're standing there, the girls, Massey, Alicia, and Dylan are standing there looking like three boys at a urinal, is what it says here. Darrington, Cam, and their friend Vader sat on blankets below them, ripping handfuls of grass out of the ground and staring at the girls' Kiss It undies. So excuse my booty here for a second. You're here, right? And you got the ass cheek and it says Kiss It a la Juicy, right? But Juicy was not cool. They weren't allowed to wear Juicy.
No, because Juicy is not designer. That was just...
No, they made fun of Juicy in the first book. So you got Kiss It written across the booty cheeks. And you got a micro mini that's either like low enough to read it, or you got some saggy booty undies down here with Kiss It.
So I feel like, okay,
12!
When describing the micro minis, what I was thinking of is like the costumes that came out like after Britney Spears' "Baby One More Time" video.
Yes, I was thinking
micro minis were so small that like no matter, they were so short, they were almost a belt. Honestly, like they were so short,
like
they
ruffled
underneath them. You were going to see, and that was the point, because there was like a whole thing with that where like you wore certain underwear or boy shorts or whatever underneath it. But that's what I'm picturing in my head, just in red and not.
That is exactly what I was picturing too. And I'm like, a 12. 12. But like, 12.
If you're 18 and in college, even if you're 18 and in high school, okay. Now, obviously, you can't wear it to school for your costume that day. But like, if I saw like an 18-year-old trick or treating with their siblings, that's a choice, I suppose. But like, if that's what I'm seeing, then fine. If I see a bunch of 12-year-olds walking around in micro mini skirts with Kiss It emblazoned across their butt cheeks, I'm wondering.
Calling the police on the parents.
Like, where are your parents?
911. Hello.
And at the Halloween party, I'm pretty sure her parents were there.
Her parents knew. I'm assuming here that the housekeeper didn't just go rogue, and she had talked to them about this. And I personally would prefer if somebody ran it by me first. If you're making my child a costume, I want to know at 12 years old.
Well, and there's Massey's family staff seems to be that of where they get approval for things before doing them.
That's what.
Except for maybe Isaac, the driver, because he just be out here being the parent. Not in this book.
He is the primary parent.
Like, not in this book. But I feel like out of all of their staff, he's the only one that I would even consider, quote unquote, going rogue, because he does tend to nip things in the bud. At least he did in the first book.
Yes.
He
does
controlling a lot of things in the background. But I feel like the housekeepers and the other people that are inside of their house are not doing that. Like, they are getting approval from her parents, from their bosses, before doing things, which again makes me wonder how this was approved, because
it had to have been approved. She did not go rogue.
Because for the the detail of like the devil tails being sewn, we know the housekeeper was doing that.
It says right there, she made them. Oh my god.
This is true.
You know what really pissed me off about her mom? Let's flip back to the beginning here. I should have tabbed this. But you know what? It pissed me off. Right, I flipped to the exact right page. Skills. When Massey's planning the party and she's asking the parents, when she recruits Claire and is like, hey, let's pretend that we're friends so that we can ask the parents about this party. I'll get my boy-girl party. You'll get a phone. And then she fucking completely throws poor Claire under the bus and like forgets about the phone thing. So she's saying we want to have a Halloween party. And she looks to her mom's reaction first because it's the only one that mattered. Kendra presided over all things related to the house, school, before, during, and after, spending money, sleepovers, punishment, and food. Dad only stepped in when it came to grades, curfews, and loud music that needed to be turned down. Where's clothes on this list? First of all, why the fuck Dad be doing nothing?
Yeah, see, and that's the thing is, I do agree with Caitlin that Matt's mom lives in denial. She doesn't. She just. Yes. They're just so like disconnected from everything around them that she just gets away with whatever she wants. I feel.
Sorry, I missed the last thing.
You're fine. I was gonna say that it seems like they're just so disconnected from what's going on all the time.
Yeah.
They've left the staff in charge, but the only staff member really that is doing anything at all is Isaac, and I didn't really see him doing it in this book at all.
He was barely in this one. He
was very much in charge of things in the first book, and then he seemed to have just like kind of.
He comes back more in the later books. Like his character comes back more, but okay. Here's the reason why I always think this is one of the best ones. It's the October-November book. That's it.
Right.
It's the fall vibes. The fall vibes are immaculate in this book. The girls cattier than ever.
Absolutely.
Alicia on her decline into, wanting to ruin or to rule her own little clique. And Olivia, God knows what the fuck's going on with Olivia. Why? She came back to school after a month of being gone, a month and a half. No, it was October 31st. It was almost 2 months of school, presumably, because they had Labor Day, and then does New York start school?
So New York starts school in September. They started
after. So it's not like us. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had their Labor Day shopping trip.
Not like with the state time.
Yeah. So it had been 2 months of this girl being gone, and then she comes back, surprise. Someone tell me why this little baby girl got a nose job. 12 years old.
12. And that's the thing.
It's still growing.
For some reason, this was like a trope. Like, I don't know why it was like in the early 2000s that all of these books came out where it was like preteens and teenagers and it was all in New York. It was all
of these ones.
Upper East Side, right?
All of these ones had no jobs.
Their faces and everything and their bodies are like still developing, but we're getting plastic surgery.
Tyson, what the fuck? What are you barking at? Are you? sir, calm the fuck down. My dog just started freaking out. He like, and I'm like, there's a serial
Like-
killer in our backyard.
Like all of these books came out around the same time, right? Because we got this one, we got It Girl, we got Gossip Girl, we got like TV show wise, we had freaking like One Tree Hill, like we had all of those, and they were all getting like plastic surgery, which your bodies are still developing.
Did you eat your dinner yet?
I mean, I don't love this either, but
This
like
is wild.
if you're 18, like what are you gonna do, right?
But as graduation
But for your parents to give you a boob job or a nose job as a graduation present is
okay, listen. I'm calling it right now. Some stupid shit like this gonna happen in the sequel that the author is writing, where they come back as adults. That is gonna be Dylan's mom. Because she was always on her about dieting. And like, why are you having your child on multiple diets and she's fat and needs to lose weight? She is 12.
And here's the thing, I'm not going to tell you that there aren't children that are overweight or obese. I'm not going to like put blinders on and like pretend like that's not a thing.
Guaranteed though, this girl was one size bigger than everyone else.
Right. Like because that can be a thing. It is a thing in society. But the fact of the matter is that 9 times out of 10, when people are trying to put their young children on diets, it's not actually because something's wrong with them.
No, they don't need diets. They need good eating habits and exercise and support from their parents, first and foremost.
Right.
But this is how it absolutely happens. Yes, Dylan's mom does offer to get her a nose job. Again, 12. They are still 12 years old, maybe 13.
And my thing is, it's like so crazy to be like, to your 12-year-old, for your 12-year-old to come to you and say, I want a nose job, is diabolical in itself.
Absolutely.
But you could blame that on like the media, right? You could blame that on like what kids see on like TV, right? But if you then are like, if you do this, I'll get you a nose job.
That nose is not even fully developed yet.
You need to go to jail, bro. Because like your child's face is not like done doing whatever it's going to do. So you need to alter their face forever before it's even done altering itself.
Going back to this,
yeah,
your boobs are not done growing.
Not at 18.
No, you're still. Some people are not. Like, you don't know what your body's going to be doing in the next few years.
Getting a boob job before you have children can hinder things when you have, if you choose to have children. So like, for instance, like if you get a boob job before you have children, but then you decide that you want to breastfeed your children, depending on what you got done, breastfeeding isn't always possible once you've had your breasts altered. And so I've always kind of wondered this because, maybe at 18, you don't know for sure that you want to have children. That's like a fair and valid thing to not know.
Absolutely.
But then don't alter things that you might need if you
like. You're 18. This is the perkiest you're ever going to be in your entire life. Settle down. Oh my goodness. No, that's okay. It's dark. What else? There was other unhinged shit in the first half too. Honeybee. Absolutely. Right. You are still you are not done fully developing in the brain region. That's wild that it's like, hey, you are 17 and then midnight hits, hey, you're 18 now, you can make some big grown-up decisions. That is
crazy.
Most people are still like, you're still in school. I have a late birthday. I started university at 17. You think I'm capable of making a grown-up adult decision?
That's terrifying. Take
Uh,
that.
Absolutely the fuck not. Graduating high school? No.
I was actually scared for a second. I was about to ask you what happened to your face, and then I was about to ask you what happened to your face, and I realized it was like a cover. Anyway, so
Oh no! Tasty, sit here. Jackie, I don't want Tasty in there.
what's Mark? Would you steal it from him? Oh, your cousin Mark. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. That's not the Mark I was thinking.
What's going on, dude?
The Mark you worked for, and I was confused. Although why he would wear something like that, I don't know. No, your cousin. Actually, your cousin makes way more sense. That it would be his. It makes absolutely no sense that it would be a 75-year-old man.
We found a friend.
It's
Zachy,
not usually. My brain.
are you
doesn't
going to be
always-
good when you grow up? Mm-hmm. Are you going to make silly choices like the girls in this book when you grow up? No? Good answer.
No? Good.
Good answer. Okay, so then the wildness continues, but like pivots into a different direction. So they've got this uniform contest. Like,
Yes.
I want to know what that conversation was that got Massey Block convincing an actual adult that, hey, we should hold a design competition. And like we're just gonna call the editors of Teen Vogue, and that's just a normal thing that we can do. But like, just the whole thing. The whole thing is wild.
Yeah.
And we're just absolutely going to implement a 12-year-old's design.
And also, who has the connection to Teen Vogue?
The fashion teacher
At this-
or whatever the fuck she was.
That's
I don't. And then Alicia's like, yep, Ralph Lauren agreed that he would produce the entire line. Like, her dad's a lawyer for some hotshot people, but like, you really got the actual company to agree to that, the board of directors for this company to agree to that.
right.
Day, basically.
I wonder how many like kids had this like unrealistic expectation that they could just call Teen Vogue and have them like design them, like print an article about them.
And like,
But
just some of the designs, like, what you're gonna so everyone is gonna have to wear strappy sandals and jeans and blazers every single, like, girls. And the most
And this-
out of pocket thing, no?
all girls school, right?
Yeah. Like,
I just, first of all, I feel like it's irresponsible to allow 12-year-olds to design their school uniforms.
but this is also, keep in mind, this was a school-wide competition. So you've
Right.
got the little kids who could join in on this too, because nothing was ever said about them not. Oh, I love you. So
Right.
much.
So I feel like it's, first of all, it's irresponsible to be doing this, right?
Right.
But also it makes the uniform part of like the whole point of the uniform, because like Ari went to an elementary school for a little while, about half a year, that had school uniforms.
Mhm.
And they all looked the same. Their uniforms all had to look the same. They gave us like where they wanted us to order the uniforms from, all of that. And then what they were allowed to do was wear like whatever socks they wanted. They could wear bows in their hair, things like that. The boys could wear like bow ties if they wanted to. There were some other accessories for boys. I have boy children that went to this school, so that wasn't relevant to me. I don't, dress your kid however you want. But the base of their uniforms were all the same.
Yep. Our high school.
The only difference was that the girls could wear either slacks or skirts all year, and then they could all wear shorts, but their shorts had to be a certain length. Ari doesn't like wearing shorts, so she wore skirts most of the time with leggings underneath them, which was fine. But like, I just feel like doing this like school-wide competition where it's like everyone competes to make the school uniform. So if
Wow.
Maxie makes a school uniform that is like a micro mini skirt with strappy 3-inch
Massey's one was sleeveless. A sleeveless.
and a sleeveless top, like not everyone is going to be comfortable wearing that anyway.
Absolutely not. Like,
Because it seems like their uniforms are the same, but they like can pick like the shoes that they wear.
yeah,
Right? Like, they can wear whatever shoes they want. RE school was like that too. You could wear sneakers, you could wear whatever. But like, so it seems like at this school, the way you make your uniform your own thing is by accessorizing with shoes or hair bows or whatever.
Mhm.
But the base of your uniform is the same. So even if it's not a super cute uniform, you can make it seem cute.
Yeah, like our high school uniform was blue or gray pants, blue shorts that we couldn't wear during the winter months. I think like March we were allowed to start wearing them again, and
Right.
end of November we weren't allowed to wear them. A skirt that was like a uniform skirt that was the school colors, so they're blue and gold. And then the shirts were white or blue, button downs.
Okay.
And then they had hoodies and like zip up sweaters, Zaki, that had the St. Anne Saints logo on it. Can you? I know, baby. Can you zip it for a second? And that was it. Shoes you could wear whatever. You want water? Okay, I will get you some. Go find the bottle. But like very, very strict uniform, and underneath you couldn't wear. You had to. Was it bright colors you couldn't wear underneath? Like it had to be like a muted color underneath and everything. Like it was wild. But Massey and Dylan and Kristen and Claire, the striptease G-rated as it was, like, and then "Dirty" by Christina Aguilera is playing.
Which
Wild.
I like that song as much as the next Christina Aguilera fan.
It is a school production. Who
And like they definitely played that at school dances where I went to school. Like we were just talking about this like last week, like different songs that were played at school dances that I attended that were not appropriate. But I couldn't imagine "Dirty" being by Christina Aguilera being played in a school production.
Mm-hmm. And this principal, we have seen this principal is like, no, you're not wearing that shit. You're not acting like this in my school. And
Right.
she was okay with this playing? That doesn't make sense. Zaki, one second. So
Yeah, it reminds me of when in Glee when they did "Push It."
oh my god.
That's what that reminds.
I love it, but oh my god. So the uniform that Massey designed, that technically won, but Alicia cheated.
Right.
Suede skirt, soft, short, and A-line is how it's described. All the different colors they got. A green, or they've got a blazer with a big flower pinned to the lapel, a black beret, and a white strapless silk top. And everyone's gonna be wearing the M, the C, the D, and the K on their uniforms. Nobody gets their own letter. You
But
get
also,
whatever
not everyone.
palette is assigned to you.
But also, why would you have a beret as part of your uniform when not everyone's head is shaped right for a beret?
Because Massey wanted to be a French model, and Massey gets what Massey wants. You put it in there. You're so funny. And then just what was actually wild to me during this scene where they're talking about where they're doing the fashion show, whatever.
Right.
Claire is so kind, right? Is your hair brown or black? Does your skin tone range from ivory to deep brown? First of all, that's a wild range. Ivory to deep brown. Okay.
Right.
If so, you're a Massey. Your uniform should be pure white and green. Do not drop this, please. You're going to crack it. And then Kristen, your hair ranges from brown to blonde. Your skin has golden tones. And then Massey switches, and she takes over. Do you burn in the sun and look positively sickly and beige? If you do, you're a Claire, and you're all pastels. Hey, someone's got to wear those Easter egg shades, right? What? The shade!
Because they're not good. Like, and I don't like calling 12-year-olds who are literal children bad people.
But that
But,
girl,
like, not like their personalities are not good.
girly pop. That's so mean. And then, and then she goes into Dylan.
There's books.
Fiery redheads, you're a Dylan. Your uniform will be ivory and lavender, the perfect shades to accentuate your rosy tones. So she says something beautifully flattering about her friend, but then you look sickly and beige and burn in the sun. That's all you can say about Claire? Sit down and shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? Rude. Rudy duty. Girly pop. Like, and then like and then they don't win, so now Daddy's gonna make a donation and everything will be fine.
Of course.
He couldn't have done this in the first place. I mean, she tried, but it was shot down, but now they're gonna accept it? Okay.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, what? The whole thing is just wild. Also, just the fact that the school has its own fashion department and that these classes are mandatory, like they have a daily fashion inspiration trip where they get to go to designers' stores and whatnot. Some people live a different life. Okay?
And I think that's the thing is like I'm wondering though where these authors
I like.
I mean, I've never lived in New York, so I guess I don't know. Like,
I've never lived. So like,
is this based off of something that is actually like rooted in fact, or did all of these authors just make it?
That's a great question. Like, I live in a rich white people area, right? Like, the high school I went to, it was well known as a rich white people high school. Everybody's parents are doctors and executives and whatever, very well off. Not like this. Not this. Zachary, can you chill out for half a second, please? Why are you awake once again? Dude, if you can't be quiet and sit here with Mama quietly, that's the good word. You're gonna have to go sit down. Okay? Bruh. You can grab a toy? Okay. You wanna grab a toy? A what? Okay, stop shaking the table, please. Okay, go show me what it is. What? I have no idea what this child is doing. Oh, the cup is dirty? I'm not opening it. Bud, Mama's trying to talk to someone for a second here. Do you want to get a cup of some water? Here, I'll be back in a second. I will get you a cup of some water. Yes. With a straw? Yeah, let me get you a big cup. Are you gonna go sit and watch your show and try and go naughty, please? No, Tracy, you're standing here. Yeah, because you haven't watched in a bit. Okay. No, don't open that. Don't open that. I'm just gonna go. Okay. Legs up. Legs down. Good job, my dude. I love you. You're so silly. All right. This child is awake once again, and it's late, and I don't know why. The other ones are sleeping. But, like, I always felt like the book had, like, a clear first half and second half. Where the first half was, like, the Halloween party and the costumes, and then the second half was, like, the design competition. And it kind of feels like it was two book ideas that got squished into one. Which I think like keeps it fresh throughout, but it also does feel like disconnected a little. The third one, I used to really like it, but I feel like this time around, I'm not gonna like it as much.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be like our sentiment at the end of each of these. Is gonna be like, when we were 12, we loved these books.
Like, yeah, like I still love them.
I'm not having a bad time. Like 4 stars for me is a good rating.
Yeah.
I know that there's some debate in the book space about anything under like a 4-star being like a crap rating. To me, 3 is like middle of the road. Like
3 is a good book, nothing
like,
special. It's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't like the best book of the year by any means, and like I don't know that I would like read it for another time, but like I haven't both books so far have been 4 stars. I see what the author is doing with them, and I'm not going to give a harsh rating just to give a harsh rating. Also, like we're technically not the demographic for these books any longer.
No, not anymore.
But when they were written, we were.
And it's also, they're very much a product of their time.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, we have to keep that in mind as we're reading. Like, this was the shit. This was it. This style, like, old, trashy YA. Like, this is what was being published for teen girls. That there was not much more depth or nuance to books and to characters, sadly.
Rereading this series makes me wonder if this is why we see millennial parents now that are not super like that aren't like looking into what their teenagers are reading. Because like, are we like, oh well, we read weird shit when we grew up, so we're fine. They'll be fine.
We should have been supervised a little bit more.
I see that being a whole thing too, where it's like, oh, I saw like my brother has come home. He'll be a senior in high school this year, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, I saw this girl in one of my classes reading this book, and it will be like Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue, which I have on my shelf, but I wouldn't get. First of all, he told me that this girl that he saw reading it, he thought she was 18. He knew she was a senior like last year. So fine, like she graduated, but I still think as a parent, I would be like, I don't care if you read this, but don't take it to school with you.
See, I have twin cousins they turned 17 this year. And I know the one has always liked more like darker horror books and whatever. And I was just talking to her last month at my other cousin's baby shower. And she was saying how she's starting to like reading spicy romance. And she's into like kind of the darker romance. And I'm like, okay, more power to you for like figuring out what you like and whatever. And I looked at my aunt and I was like, thank you for not being weird about this. That like she's trying to branch out, because my mom was very weird about telling me that I was too old for young adult.
But not old enough for adult books either.
But she was trying to get me to read her romance books, but I was younger. And then when I did, then she made a big deal about it. And it was
my mom did that too.
That's just like her personality in a nutshell. And like I don't really like my mother. We don't get along. She wants to. It's a whole thing. I have like mostly cut her off at this point. And a lot of that is the weird behavior.
Mine is dead, so.
But Yeah.
It's what it is. But my mom was the same way. Like she would be like, "Well, you're really too old to be reading like young adult romance books. So
Yeah.
read this book." And then she would be like, she would like see me reading the book she told me to read and be like, "Why are you reading that? It's not for you." And I'm like, "Man,
Yeah, and then mine would be like, if I would have liked it, oh, I told you you'd like it. Like, I'm always right, say thank you and all this. And I just don't want to engage with it, right? So
maybe
my aunt sitting there being normal.
we same mother. We just don't-
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. We do have this. Yep, that's
Maybe
right.
his mom faked her death and just moved to Canada.
Maybe. I mean, my dad died, so. This, valid. She somewhat didn't pay attention to me
Yeah.
because it wasn't about her until she tried to make it about her and then was like,
I also feel
how
like
can I make this about me?
I feel like
And then criticize.
we grew up in the like epidemic of narcissistic mothers too.
Yep.
And so like because I will vet anything that Ari reads, even if I know that it's supposed to be for her age group, I will still look into it to make sure it's actually for her age group before I let her.
Absolutely.
And it's not because I don't want her to read it. It's just because if I feel like she's not, because just because it gives an age group, it's an estimation.
Mm-hmm.
Parent needs to make a choice as to whether it's actually for their kid. And sometimes a book that says that it's for 9 to 12-year-olds, I don't feel like she would grasp what's going on. I will like put it away until I think she's a little bit ready.
And that's gonna be a bigger thing too as she moves up into the YA teen young adult because it's 13 to 18.
Right.
And books for a 13-year-old and books for an 18-year-old are very different.
Very different, yeah.
So yeah, like there was not enough supervision for what we were reading. Like my mom didn't want me to read Gossip Girl because she's flipped through this one girl, her brother played basketball with my brother. She flipped through her copy and saw like one little thing. And she's like, "Oh, you're absolutely not reading that." But let me watch movies with explicit sex scenes with her while I was the exact same age. Like,
But also, you can read my Harlequin romances. That's
right. So, but if she saw me reading this and she had no fucking clue, whatever. It's a teeny bopper book or some shit that she would say. I don't fucking know.
Right.
But if she actually looked into this and read this, I think she would have, if she cared, she would have made a different choice. Like, these are not girls that you want to be emulating. These are not girls that are good judges of character, that are good people for you to try to look up to or live up to. Like, the behavior from most of these girls is kind of the opposite of what the children should be striving for.
Right.
Like the way that they treat each other, and like Claire tries to feel like she's better than them because she's got the moral high ground, but she absolutely sinks down to their level whenever need be. And like, what I really, really, really don't like about Claire's character is the way she treats Lane, her seemingly only good friend, the only true friend to her, who's just really like Lane as a normal person. She's a weird 12-year-old who dresses funny, who has weird hobbies. She's just a fucking little weirdo. I love Lane. Lane's fantastic. And she's a good friend to Claire. But Miss Claire wants the pretty committee. She wants to be where Massey's at. She wants to be Massey's friend. She does not give a shit about Lane and Mina and Heather, the girls that actually want to be friends with her, where she is. Not changing herself, not being richer, not being different, not dressing different. And Claire just doesn't want to, if there is an opportunity to ditch Lane for Massey, she will. And it's pretty garbage. Like, I don't enjoy how she would ditch Lane. And like it said here, like they were doing the quiz for like, how happy are you, whatever. And where is it? Yeah, Lane got happy as a clam, and Claire scored mopey dick. And then the one question: if your best friend was abducted, holy fuck, wow! If your best friend was abducted by aliens, what would you miss most? A, laughing my abs off. B, hanging out with someone who gets me. C, miss. And Claire picked C. Because she liked Lane, but she secretly wanted to be part of Massey's fabulous foursome. And she just, like, miss, like, Lane is here for you. She had a little slip in the first book where she wanted to be Massey's friend, but then she got her head on straight and she came back to it. She has been there for you. Every time these girls do something and make you feel like shit and, like, make you think that, oh, maybe you're friends, and then they kick you when you're down, Lane has been there to pick you back up. Lane's a real one. Yeah, exactly. It mirrors how Massey treats Claire when they're alone. She'll tolerate it until someone cooler comes along. That is exactly what Claire is doing to Lane. And I get it. You're 12. Your brains aren't developed. You're still learning how to treat people and all these things. But, like, you know how it feels.
Right.
So why are you actively doing this to someone else? That is, like, the one thing about Claire where I'm like, girl, I love when you get sassy. I love when you clap back at them. I love when you, like, when she changed all of the invitations and put Massey's number and said call anytime, day or night. Like, that was so sneaky and underhanded, and I loved it. Like, Massey she's trying to pass off people onto you that she doesn't think are cool, and you're like, well, and she says, if you can't join them, beat them. Like, girl, hilarious. Petty. So petty. But the way she goes back and treats Lane like that, shameful. That I don't love. What else? There was... But honestly, one of the realest things about this entire book is the girls fighting over a boy who is just using them. Sadly, I think that's something that we all either go through ourselves or are adjacent to with our friends. And, like, we've all seen it or we've all lived through it. Fighting over a stupid ass boy who was just trying to use them to get to men.
Especially in middle school, like,
first crushes, and, like, that is the one thing with Massey that I did, like, the earlier books where she has never kissed anyone. Todd stole her first kiss, that little shit. Like, she doesn't want to be involved in the kissing games because she's shy about it, and she doesn't want people to think that she's less experienced than she pretends to be. And I think, like, that nervousness around your first kiss and boys being included in things, like, that I think is, like, really realistic and not, like, a really exaggerated shitty part of 12-year-olds. Yeah, the whole book, I didn't even like him, and then what is it, next book? She's like, yeah, maybe, and then in the fourth book, and then they start dating. Then she buys him a fucking pair of pants. Yes, baby cakes? You okay. One sec, bud. But yeah, I think that's it. There's, like, the toxicity is a little bit less in a weird way in this book. Like, it's exaggerated a lot more.
I think it's because we have this underlying thing with the Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
It's like one extreme to the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we either have, like, these 12-year-olds dressing like they're full-grown adults, and that's what we're focusing on, or we're focusing on the toxicity of these 12-year-olds acting like grown adults.
Yep. Yeah. So, honestly, though, like, the toxicity ramps up again in the next one. Like, the buying friendships and the general dynamic of the two groups going head to head. I'm excited for that one. I am excited to get back into that one as a 32-year-old with 4 children and being, like, I think my general takeaway for the next one again is going to be, where are the parents? Because where the fuck are the parents? They gone. Like, it's even worse in these books than like typical young adult fantasy where the parents are just dead. Because the parents are here, but they're useless. Like, oh. Anyways.
Yeah, the parents are nowhere to be found in this book, once again.
They're there at the beginning and a little bit sprinkled in the middle, but they're kind of left to their own devices.
But the Halloween costumes are definitely a choice.
That's... The parents had to okay this. I think we both need to get going, but I want to bring up this one last point. They pushed for Claire and Massey to share costumes. So my understanding is that Judy, Claire's mom, would have been looped in. Why wouldn't the other parents have been looped in? Kristen's mom would have said, absolutely the fuck not. No. My daughter's not wearing that.
But that just means that Claire's mom also okayed the costumes.
That's what I'm thinking. She
had to have. Now, I don't know if her mom did it because she thought, well, this is the only way my kid will be accepted, which is not a good idea. But like, yeah, Alicia's mom would have absolutely said no. Alicia's going to school in sweatpants in a tracksuit every day because and then taking the tracksuit off when she gets in the car and then putting it back on before she goes home. So we know that her mother wouldn't have okayed this. So the only other mom being looped in is Claire's mom.
So then it's like, okay, so if we're assuming that parents would have had to been involved to say yes, I'm thinking the housekeeper might have just brought it to Massey's mom and was like, is this good? And then she just glanced at it and was like, yep, fine. Without even actually looking. Which, also shitty. But just no parental involvement. Actually looking at these costume designs and being like, yep, that's okay. My 12-year-old girl can put this on her body and leave the house. Absolutely not. So we'll leave it there for today. I need to go and try and get this child to sleep. And I need the power vacuum so that I can relax after and watch Arrested Development. Thank you for being here, Neva. Thank you for everybody who was watching. We will be back next week for Revenge of the Wannabes, the third book where Alicia breaks off and forms her own pretty committee, the Unbelievably Pretty Committee, I believe she calls it.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Yeah, and that is a wild time. We had to push the live show today because of scheduling conflicts with everything. It might be, my husband's back on afternoons next weekend. He might be working, he might not be working. I'll figure it out after he gets home, and then I will post I'll schedule it. I'll talk to Neva, and then I will post on the socials and then check for when the video is scheduled, the upcoming live stream. All right, everyone have a wonderful night, daytime, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Neva, it's been a pleasure. It's been a blast, as always.
Always love to be your friend.
I love you, awesome nerds. And I will see you. I have a video coming out on Monday, tomorrow. So I hope to see you there. Okay, bye.